this year, and just the passion of filmmaking is felt at this theater by everybody who shows up, and so super excited to be here tonight. And I mean, growing up, I was such a fan of Sergio Leone and Akira Kurosawa, and so just seeing the marquee out there with Yo Jimbo to Puss in Boots' Last Wish is just it's weird and cool. Actually, there's two articles out, one by LA Times, one New York Times online right now, about our inspirations that we just drew from and put into this animated movie. So right after Puss in Boots, Wagner Moura, and even though his name wasn't up there, Samson Kayo, who plays Baby Bear. Amazing actor. And so excited to get a chance to talk to you guys and answer questions. And then seeing Yojimbo on the big screen is just awesome. So hope you guys enjoy. Looking forward to hanging out with you.
we were just hanging out, and I got a call from my agent saying that the guys, that Joel and the guys wanted to have a chat with me about the movie. And I was gassed because it was like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and I was like, I'm the official one. So anyone that comes after me doesn't exist, it's not real, it's just a fake baby bear. There's no other baby bear now other than my baby bear. That's a trademark baby bear. So I was really excited, and I got to meet these guys, and they showed me like the storyboard and everything, and it just looked incredible, and I was just like, yup.
Awesome.
No, man, this was, I'm gonna bring the process that I had in this film for everything I do after this, because usually I'm very like, not method, but I'm like very, sometimes I think I take myself very too seriously. And in this case, I was like, oh, it's just my voice, right? So I just can go there and have fun and try something. And that's exactly what I did. I was there with Joel, with General, and we were trying different things. I wasn't really thinking, I was just having fun, which is the nature of what acting should be about, is just playing and having fun. And so I can't, this film only brought me joy, since day one till right now. I'm seeing Samson for the first time.
First time.
It was just joy.
Like Candice right now, like a Candice episode. You just enjoy it. Not there. It's awesome.
It's interesting. Like you said, it's been I think 11 years since Puss in Boots was on the big screen, and when we approached the movie, we were like, it's been so long that you want to honor like the character and the Shrek legacy and what people may be nostalgic about, but at the same time, animation has evolved so much in these years, and so we were like, we can take some big swings, and so the production designer Nate Ragg really pushed this concept of like, what if it looked like you were dropped into like a fairy tale painting? But for us, it was like, we didn't want to just do something that looked cool just for that. We wanted everything to be wrapped around the story. And so we also took some big swings, I think tonally, where we kind of dipped into a darker tone. Sky. But that we kind of went with like the wolf, introducing a new element to the Shrek fairy tale world, which is the Grimm fairy tales. That in order to tell this story about life and how special life can be, you need to feel the dark to appreciate the light. And so we definitely took some big swings in this new movie.
And it paid off.
Do you remember the first time, Samson, when we were pitching to you the role of Baby Bear, And do you remember when we were saying like,
Oh yeah, they were telling me, they were like, oh yeah, so, you know, we got Olivia Colman playing your mom, and playing Mama Bear, and Ray Winston playing Papa Bear, and Florence Pugh playing Goldilocks. I was like, and I'm Baby Bear, yeah? Cool, he's adopted, it's fine. I was so excited, because I was like, wait, what? And then as soon as I knew it was Ray Winston, I was like, okay, I think I got the accent right. I think I know where we're going to go with this. And then we started messing about in that. If you had a video of what we did in that room, it was amazing.
yeah.
Do you guys have the same British accent, or did you have to make it?
Yeah, I had to put on a certain tone dialect because it's like East London and Cockney rhyming slang. It's the sort of tone. But I'm from South London, where it's a bit more street. You know? So I had to kind of listen to Ray and watch Sexy Fiction. I'm joking, and just kind of get that energy.
Joel, you have a great story about pitching Ray and you reading him the script, and he gave you a line that ended up in the film. You tell the story.
Yeah. I mean, and I'd say this was been like Wagner, like you said, like we play so much, and we really the coolest part about having such a talented cast is that not only did everybody kind of show up as brilliant actors, but also as human beings bringing a experience to the story. And I mean, when, as an example, when Ray Winston, when we were pitching him the story, he agreed to be Papa Bear, and he knew it was just like, okay, we need a Cockney kind of Guy Ritchie gangster, and that's his thing. But I was walking through like what happens with the bears. They, this runaway orphan goalie comes into their life, and I walk him through the story, and how they're after this wish, and they're not sure what the wish is going to be, but they're helping Goldie get to it. And then I get to the part where, in the movie, that heartbreaking scene where Goldie is forced to say what she's going to wish for, and Ray is just so, and this is all on like Zoom, but he is just like leaned in, engaged, and when she says, I'm gonna get a human family, essentially, Ray just said, well, I guess some people just stick around till the board is gone. And it was like, that was just him engaged and sort of like, okay, we're gonna rewrite the movie. But honestly, that was the process with like all of us, like when we would, because in animation, what you say, we don't record, everybody doesn't record at the same time, usually on their own, so, and every few months we record again, we rewrite, certain things work, and so as a director, it's such a great opportunity to keep learning and finding the characters, and we would improvise a lot, and based on things that we find, next time we came back, we have rewritten based on things, so it's a fun process. Coming into the booth and the tools you use to express and to perform are limited to, you don't have how you walk across the room, you don't have your facial expressions, you're just left with one tool to tell the story. And to what you're saying, it's like, man, that's so much respect to what you guys do, to putting everything in the voice. And there's a lot of trust too, because you're not seeing any animation, we animate afterwards. And so
that's like me. I'd never done a voiceover before. Before this job, so I was even on the way to the first meeting. I was like, I'm gonna get fired. Okay, exactly. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go in and just have fun, because that's all we can do. And then Joe and John just made it so much easier. Like, look, we'll just play with some stuff, and then we was literally playing with stuff, and you really kind of start to embody the family dynamic of the crime family. For me, anyway, I really started to embody it, listening to them, seeing the vision going forward, and just having conversations, real life conversations. It just put everything into perspective that, yeah, it does cater to children, but it also has many lessons for adults. So
And you and Ray and Olivia, you guys never did anything.
No.
It was you and then
Yeah.
you were never together.
no, I think the only time was when we'd get recordings, right, where we'd play some of the stuff that, you know, Florence would have an idea, and then you guys would talk about it, and then I would listen to it and be like, oh, all right, let's try this with that, and then, you know, but never.
But that's what I mean, where like Florence would see that, like, for example, that scene where Goldie's riding on the back of the bears when they're in the dark forest, and she's hyping Baby. She's telling him, like, she's like trying to get him ready to go after that wish, and she's, you know, saying, what are you gonna wish for? And you're going on about Jack Horner's purple suit, and it used to be all in just like Baby just stated it in one line, and Florence is thinking about that relationship, and you were too, where and based on that, she's like, oh, what if I say yeah, and then like
Gas him up.
yeah, and then we actually played for her what you did, because you hyped it up even more, and then she redid it, and it's like, even though you're not in the same room, you're both engaged in the same moment.
Yeah.
And I think that is the difference with live action and animation. You don't have the moment on stage that you're sharing that. You're kind of creating a moment through a different, like, two separate kind of segments of process, but it's still that same filmmaking goal of, you know, connecting those characters.
So last question, and then
I always believe that in order to something to become popular and to be like a commercial success, it doesn't need to be silly or to be, you know, and I think this film is crazily existential, you know, and it's a film about how like death gives meaning to life, right? You cannot live your full life if you don't know that one day you're gonna die. And this is a pretty complex thing that I think that it's great to see in animation, in a movie that's not only for kids, but there are a lot of kids watching it. So I like when the intelligence of the audience is respected, and it's so I think that what makes me believe every time more that films should be, you know, you don't have to be like and I see so many, like, when you're pitching movies, like, and I come from independent filmmaking and all that, and I see some people saying like, oh, we need something more commercial, and I'm like, what does that mean? You know, what does that even mean? And people are not stupid. People like to see things that, you know, of course, that they have the tools and the elements that are exciting and fun and entertaining, but it has to be something, you know, there, so you can go on and think about it.
from the wolf himself.
Double question. So wait, now I forgot the first question.
You can answer about how it was about.
I mean, that was part of the, when we were trying to figure out the right role of the wolf. You know, we wanted it to be something that was like, for all the characters in the story, for us as a team, we're like, this is the characters are animated, but they're not cartoons. They're all gonna be authentic and grounded. I will say, Jack Horner and Ethical Bug are purposefully the most cartoony. They work in the extremes to be kind of, to really point out the theme, the lack of appreciation for human life. But the rest of the characters wanted it to be grounded in. I remember when we were looking at you know, some of your stuff from Narcos, it was like, that's scary, like, that's, but then in meeting you, you know, we had these conversations about finding a character that doesn't just feel like it's, you know, you have a beautifully deep, scary voice, like, right, but we wanted it to not be arch.
Mhm.
And that was like a process, like with you, like,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, and we never saw the wolf as the villain of the film at all, never. Like, the wolf is there to teach something to Puss. Pablo Escobar was a very great character that I played. It was a very important part in my life. Just doing Narcos was a very important thing for me. And till today, I think that people still, when think about me, think about that character. Now they're gonna think about the wolf.
I think for me, you know, like we're doing Yojimbo screening right after this.
I'm so excited.
Akira Kurosawa was, I mean, just such a master of humanity. And the coolest thing I remember the first Kurosawa movie I watched was Seven Samurai. And I watched it going in as, this is gonna be a badass samurai movie, right? It's like, it was like one of the first like epic action movies. But what I love about Kurosawa is that you enter on the entertainment, but you find these incredibly like well-rounded characters that are so kind of like just steeped in like he was always exploring class structure, you know, right and wrong, and what makes you human, and what the value of someone is, and like, and so really, like, there was something that when I discovered Kurosawa, I just couldn't stop watching movies like Redbeard is another amazing one, and then even like Yojimbo, there's this fun to it. The casting, like almost like everybody has a personality before they speak, and so for me, you know, we really wanted to tell a story about how amazing life is, and that even though it is existential, it doesn't have to be quiet and contemplative. It's like life is a celebration, and so we wanted to like kick off the movie back to the giant fight of like just joy and fun, and like even the for me being able to bring inspiration of like anime, which in the 1988 Akira, I saw as a young kid, and my mind was blown from like just how visceral and epic it was, and so it was just this almost this ambitious like let's try and depict the full spectrum of life in a movie.
It's there